This podcast was recorded before the SAG and WGA strike. And boom, we're live.
Boom.
How are you?
I'm doing well. A little chilly, but I'm good.
A little chilly? I
Yeah.
know, it's been kind of weird in LA lately.
Right. Yesterday we had like mad sunshine. I was at the beach one of these days. I don't know. Yeah, I was at the beach and I was like, wow, spring is here. And the next day, rainstorm.
Oh, so you didn't freeze your butt off?
Oh, I didn't go in the water.
Oh.
No. I wore fully clothing pajamas and sneakers and socks.
He's like, do you see me?
Yeah.
I don't go in the water.
I'm not going in the water. No. But it was a beautiful day. Beautiful day, and now it's cloudy, so I guess, you know, the plants need the water.
Yeah. We've been in a drought for I don't know how long.
Years.
I don't know.
Decades.
I've only been here for a year and a half, so
yeah,
I have no
and we
idea.
needed water since then.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, long story short,
Yeah.
I used to do this podcast for a while. We did about 12 episodes. We, as in me, and I kind of stopped for a while, and now I have just an excuse to do it again, and to have fun and just talk to my friends and people I love. And so, with that being said, why don't you just tell people who you are? Just 30 seconds.
Oh, wow.
Slow down.
On the clock. 30 seconds. Here we go. How much time do we have? 30 seconds. Oh, my gosh. Okay. Time is still ticking. Oh, my gosh. Okay. So my name is Jonathan. I'm originally from Miami, Florida. I moved to LA at the top of 2013. Basically, I was dancing in Miami, Florida. I was doing a lot of Latin ballroom and a lot of Afro jazz and a lot of just hip hop and training as a dancer. And then I moved to LA and I was like, okay, if I don't make it in LA in these 2 weeks, then I'm gonna head home. And the first week, I partied my ass off.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I have a plane ticket to leave back to go to Miami. I need to start making connections or networking or going auditions.
You
I was
need
like,
to make it. You have
I
one
was
week
like,
now.
I have a week now. I was like, no one's discovered me.
No.
I'm at the malls every day buying cute clothes. I'm like, hello, hello? So 30 seconds are gone. And long story short, I've been here longer than 2 weeks. I've been here for about 11 years. Been here for about 11 years, and we're making it in different sentences of making it. And I've done everything from photography to acting to dancing to working in production to doing freelance publicity to doing marketing to working for casting, working for producers, and it's really getting the lay of the land.
You've done so much since you've been here. And you touched on something that I think a lot of people come here with a certain expectation of making it in an obscenely short amount of time.
Yes.
You know, I almost feel like it's just naturally within us.
You feel the timeline.
Yeah, you just feel
clock.
a timeline. You're just like, okay, I'll give myself 2 weeks or a couple months, or if only I just can get seen, then everything will happen. Right. And it's really interesting when you start living here in LA or anywhere where the entertainment industry is kind of booming. Or just present here. You just have so many hopefuls not knowing what they're really signing up for. And for me, I'm so lucky that I had a career for 10 years
So smart.
as a ballet dancer, where even though it's very different, there's some similarities in which certain expectations are kind of put in check. You understand the difference between an artistic creative expression as well as a commerce and business.
Talk about
and kind of bridging those two things together. I think that a lot of people don't know what they don't know.
A lot of people don't know.
Which can be a strength, but inevitably, there's just certain things that are way out of people's control. On the flip side, there is so much flexibility and there is so much opportunity for somebody to make something.
Absolutely.
And if you're, this is just my opinion, if it's unique and if it's something that people want to consume, things can happen, which I do like.
Absolutely. And I think the biggest thing is also making sure that you are it's in your voice. It's in your voice and it's in your it's in your soul. Whatever you're creating, it has to come from you because that's what makes it unique. That's what makes it original.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's the Hollywood industry is like, why don't we do 3 girls and they're mean, and then we've got another girl that's not mean, but she wants to be in that clique.
Does she become mean?
And then she might become mean herself in the journey of finding out who she is in a coming of age story called Mean Girls or The Heathers or Jawbreaker or almost any teen movie from now to the beginning of time. It's like they're just like there's just a formula to it. But I think when you come to the city, if you're coming to the city with the business and the wisdom of like, yo, I've had this career, I know that it's art and it's also commerce, that I think you're 10 steps ahead of the game. And you want to come to the city and create your own opportunity and create opportunities for other people and to connect. It's like that is a way better way to work the city than to spend the time waiting and just taking all the job. Just there's nothing wrong with doing it on your own pacing and just learning what it is, but no one really has the time to just understand how the city works for 10 years and then feel like now that I understand, now I can start. So the goal is just to start wherever you can start.
Yeah. And just have fun.
As you should.
I feel like too many people, and I see this in no matter what art form it is, too many people they have this way about it where they literally suffer for their own art. We're living beings here, and we have to kind of nurture ourselves in order to have the best outcome possible.
Correct.
Right? So why not, try to have a roof over your head and food on the table and be able to afford what is out here, in addition to taking the time and the hours and the mental energy to put something out there.
Right.
Yeah. I guess that's a really good segue to Sandpaper.
It is. I mean, yeah, sure. Yeah. It couldn't be a better one.
For those who don't know, I wrote, produced, and starred in a film when I first moved here. I wasn't planning on doing it, but it's about 1.5 years since I've been here, and so much has happened. You had the privilege of seeing the rough cut.
I sure did.
Without the sound mixing, without full color, and just kind of like the rough edit of what everything looks like. What did you think?
And I'm not just saying this to like stroke your ego, but which is fine, but my honest reaction was I was pleasantly surprised.
Oh, okay. You thought I was going to be shit. I get it. I'm teasing.
There's many people, like I have many friends, even myself, like many friends that are like, yo, I'm about to create this film, concept video.
Talk about it.
And they didn't put it in the details. They didn't put in the money. They didn't hire the people. They didn't really create the crew. It's like the difference between a YouTube video and a film. And there's a difference between like, yes, you had to do it by yourself, but do you have the resources? Did you create the people? Did you find the people? Did you know what it actually takes to produce and star and write your own film? So I was pleasantly surprised because I was gonna support you either way. I would have been like, hey,
thank you.
Maybe we're not gonna send this to anyone, but this is a really great video.
This is a good start.
This is a good start. I'm really happy you did it, buddy. Hey, you did it. I'm happy you did it, and it's done now.
It's done.
Don't show this to anyone.
This podcast will never be seen by anybody.
Don't show it to anyone. Don't share this right now.
I'm actually not expecting this podcast to really be seen. I'm just
We're getting the ball rolling.
Exactly.
We're getting the ball rolling because it attracts the momentum. Attracts other things.
I'm doing it because I like doing the things.
Yes.
And
I'm having so much fun right now.
yeah, good. I'm so glad. I'm so glad.
But Sandpaper, I was pleasantly surprised. That was my first reaction. Without going into too much detail, I was pleasantly surprised. Being like, oh, this is a phenomenal script. The detail between the cinematography, the lighting, the actors, the dancers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it not feeling like, even though it was like, everyone in this room is my friend and we're helping create this thing. And it just being like, we spent a week or whatever creating this concept video or this music video, or I was surprised in the way that I was like, oh, this could be in theaters right now. It could be like, okay, we've got Thor Ragnarok, we've got Titanic 7, we've got Pitch Perfect, and we've got Sandpaper. And it's like, okay, like this could be in theaters right now.
It is only 30 minutes long, so it's not a feature. But thank you.
Absolutely.
That means the world to me. In the sense that I didn't necessarily write the script thinking I was going to make something and be in this spot that I am right now. I just wanted to write something. I wanted to tell a story that was based on something that I had lived through. And I know for myself, I did come to the city with a little bit of a timetable, thinking like, oh, okay, so I'm going to give myself a year and like see how it is and what it is. But also having this long-term mindset of like, well, realistically, I should be here for 10 years, or at least be in the space for 10 years and just keep showing up and keep doing things.
Don't quit.
Right.
People will leave the city and you'll have your moment.
Yeah. Or it's just one of those things where you just get better at your craft.
Truly.
You know, it's like asking people to go and, win the Super Bowl, and they're just learning how to throw a football for the first time.
That's great.
It's that kind of mindset, and it's a little delusional, but it's also, you kind of have to have a little bit of that shoot for the stars mentality when you're trying to build something up. It was really interesting. When I first came out here, I had the privilege of knowing a couple people who had been in the industry who, have had some success, who have been in shows and movies and worked with, brand name people and studios and, that thing that we all want as actors and as creators in this industry. And hearing them talk about their representation, hearing them talking about, their experiences and how they get work. When I came out here, I was thinking, okay, I have that certain mindset. I know that's possible.
Right.
Let's try to lean into that and let's make that happen for myself. And when I came out here, what was available to me and the meetings that I was getting from agents and managers and just everybody, that wasn't the case. I wasn't getting that type of relationship. I wasn't getting okay, I see you have this. Let me bring you into my network. I'm going to have a general meeting with this person. Oh, you want to work with this writer? Okay, I'm going to reach out to their agent and manager, telling them about who you are and what you do and how that works within what they do. I didn't have anything like that. It was so much of like, all right, well, spend a few $1,000s getting a headshot and having subscriptions to all these different casting sites. Oh yeah, you should also spend a couple more $1,000s on casting workshops because, and I just started seeing that it was so much of that the representation, at least with the meetings that I got, I'm not dissing any representation, but a lot of it was just click on websites.
It's a little pay to play.
It's a little bit, but at the same time, I know so many people who don't pay to play. And I just was really frustrated at the duality that I was seeing, and I'm like, I know that there's more out there.
There is.
And where is that for somebody just starting out? So with that frustration, I went, okay, well, what do I do? I'm here in LA. I have this, apartment, and I'm like, I'm going through my savings, what little savings I do have, and I'm just starting. Okay, F it, I'm just going to write. I'm just going to make something. I'm just going to tell a story because that's what is in me right now.
Right.
And it was just calling me to just put it on the page. So I do that, and long story short, I finish it, and I start workshopping it with friends, with other people in my class, other teachers, coaches, my friends who were on these different shows and movies that I spoke about earlier, and unanimously everybody was like, when are you shooting this? When are you making this? Can I be a part of this?
Wow.
How can I help you? And
Wow.
I was shocked because I wasn't even planning on it. I wasn't even like, oh, okay, we're gonna, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that and I'm gonna get these people together. I was like, no, I just wanted to tell a story.
Wow.
Hey, everybody, here I wrote a scene. Let's sit down. Like, I'll be this person, you be that person, and let's go. First of all, I'm glad I have people and coaches that allow me to bring in work that I have created.
Wow.
But I was just awestruck that people liked the story and resonated with it. And the more people I talked to, it was usually more the same thing. A few people were like, that's not the kind of story I like, but good luck. But most people were like, this is interesting. Mm-hmm. This is unique. This is fun. And I just knew I had to take it seriously. So went through the process, had brought the few friends I have out here or had out here. I have a lot more than when I first started, so I'm very grateful for all the people.
Because people are attracted to people that are, what is the word? Like, productively creating.
Yes.
People who are outputting.
Yes.
People that are just like, you have your friends that are like, they hit you up and you're like, yo, you want to go play mini golf? You want to go to the beach? You want to go get coffee shops? After a couple of weeks, you're like, great. But you're like, every week we're going to a coffee shop and spending $18 on a mochaccino latte and going to the beach.
That.
What are we doing? Why are we here? We can go to different cities and have cheaper rent to live our regular lives. So, but people and artists in themselves, they're like, oh my goodness, this is the reason why I came to this city,
right? Is
to connect and to work and to create with other people, and so people are attracted to what you are doing.
Yeah,
people are not attracted to when everyone asks you, so what do you do? And you're like, well, I'm a writer or I'm an actor, and they're like, oh, so what are you doing about that? And you're like, I'm just sitting on my ass, not waiting for the things for someone to choose me. And it's like
for the phone call.
It's like the conversation over. Thank you so much. Goodbye. But when you are creating something, you are in that, you've given yourself the power to give birth to the thing.
Yep.
Give birth to the actual idea. Give birth to the story. Give birth to what it like. Yeah. People are like, do you need help giving birth to this? Do you? Yeah. Yes, we did it. Let's have another baby. Like, people are attracted to that. People want that.
People love
People love a baby.
People love a baby. Most people love a baby.
You're right.
But I was just so happy that people were able to take time out of their lives and their careers to come out and shoot this drama that was based around dance. And
what amazing footage they got out of it.
Talk about it.
The footage?
Can I tell you about that story?
Tell me, please.
Okay, so Benji Dell. He's an amazing cinematographer. He was our DP. The director of this, my good friend, and I'm happy to call him a friend, Danny Mooney, and him went to college. I think they were about a year or two apart. But long story short, Benji, he does a lot of commercials. And he also has a lot of great equipment that he co-owns with a bunch of other people, and he rents them out. He has his own rental business. And when my director and friends went to him and told him about the project and what he wanted to do and how he was seeing it, and they had wanted to work together for so long, Benji said, absolutely, let's work together. And he really wanted to do narrative. He was I don't want to speak on his behalf. I'll have him on the podcast to speak what he wants. But from my perspective, he really wanted to do more narrative, and he had the availability in September when we shot it. So he just went, okay, I'm going to have this equipment. And he did. He just brought in a whole van full of like great equipment. So we shot on an Arri Alexa, which if you don't know, that's like an industry like standard. Like most things that you see are shot on an Arri. And the fact that we were able to get that package for the price that he was asking for was like a fraction of what he would get from a commercial. Right. But we tapped into the fact that he really wanted to be a part of the story. Right. And he wanted to really just like flex a different muscle that he really is good at. And I just kind of let him play. I let him and Danny kind of figure out like what would work well within the spaces. And if you bring really passionate people who are doing something that they really wanted to do, they're going to make really good work. Right. That's what it is. Full stop about it.
That footage looks good.
It was great.
Danny Mooney and who else?
Danny Mooney is the director. Benji Dell is the DP.
Benji Dell and Danny Mooney.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Yeah. So I owe a lot to both of them. And also we got a great sound. We got a focus puller who hair and makeup, like everybody was vetted, experienced, and even if they didn't have a ton of experience, all the department heads like knew what they were doing.
Above the line, bro. Above
the
line.
Yeah,
freaking good.
And for me, I understand coming from the dance world that it's not just about the performers, it's about the whole back end crew and everything, you know? The whole machine. Like who's the person doing the costumes, who is the person doing the set design and the stage manager, all that stuff.
Lighting, everything.
And for doing that for over 10 years, I was able to have a huge respect for that because without them, the production can't be done. So when I started making Sandpaper, I went, okay, I have full respect for these people who, you know, basically just grind themselves to do these, you know, beautiful.
To serve other people's.
But not only that, but also they're not the ones who are getting credit.
Correct.
And I started thinking about it, and I was talking with Danny about it, and him and I agreed that even though it's a short and it may not get a lot of, you know, distribution or a lot of money coming from the actual making of it, we gave everybody back end. We gave everyone a percentage. To kind of tell everybody like we trust you and we thank you for doing this.
It's your baby too.
It's your baby too. You know. That being said, like who knows? It would be nice if HBO was like, hey, let's make this into a miniseries. Sure. Or whatever. Yes. And here's a check for you. And like buy it out. Like, fine. I'm way open to it. So if you're listening, you know, do the thing.
Right.
But I just really believe in paying it forward. And that goes to what I was talking about earlier with setting the tone. I also understood that since I was going to be number one on the call sheet, since I was going to be, and I didn't plan all this, by the way.
Right.
I just took the situation on, and I'm like, okay, what would an A-list celebrity do in this situation? What would, you know, insert name do here if they were not only the writer, not only the producer, but also the lead actor? What would they do? All right, they're going to like be that guy or be that girl or be that person. And yeah, I'm just, again, I always go back to, I'm just grateful that people wanted to do this. And I can't wait to see what happens when, you know, it's all done and it's being seen. Truly. You know, what that turns into. You know, I'm not planning on anything, but I'm open to every and all possibilities.
And the best thing about this is that I'm going to talk about two things. I'm talking about the multi-hyphenate that you said the A-lister are doing, and I'm going to talk about also the film and the gift that it can be, the calling card that it can be. So first, like, there's just so people think, and I think you've cracked the code already a year and a half, year one already in LA, is that this is going to be, I hope this is not too meta, but it's like, there's in the industry, if you're an actor listening, actor, dancer, performer, there's a moment when you realize in your career of, let's just say, acting, and you're at a point where you're like, I love what I do, but I am a little out of control of where my next job is coming from. And no matter what I'm doing as the actor, I am someone else's employee. Mm-hmm. And so I've seen, my eyes just finally opened up, and I was like, you know, when you like go on IMDb or you Google some of these actors and you're like, where are they now? You were an actor in the 90s, 70s, whatever, 2000s. Where are you? And there's that, you see the difference between the actor that was waiting for their next gig and the actor that you hear is like, so-and-so is producing a film. So-and-so
has been directing for 8 years.
Has been directing.
Yeah.
So-and-so is producing this. And so I think going back to you is like, I think top of my mind at this thing of like Reese Witherspoon that has like
she's a whole
killing
it.
And I look at her trajectory of being like, you know, Legally Blonde, Cruel Intentions, you know, a great actress, you know, movie. And then I think at one point she came out with essentially her one-woman show film. What is it called? I don't know what it's called. It's Reese Witherspoon and she's in the mountains. And it's like her with a backpack and she gets lost. And she like, it's like literally it's just her in the film. And it's like, it was her first thing that she was like, I'm going to produce it. I'm going to star in it. And I wrote this thing. Mm. And then the industry shifted and started looking at her like, who the F
who do you think
do you think you are writing and directing and starring in your own thing, submitting it to film festivals? You're Reese Witherspoon. Sit down and we'll give you Legally Blonde 4 and do voiceover and relax. What are you doing? And now this girl is like, has her own production company, and she's of course she still acts, but she is using her one gift of hers, one tool to be like, I'm gonna be a big player too.
Yeah, I'm
gonna be a big player. I'm not gonna wait for Legally Blonde 5. I'm not gonna wait for, you know, the next movie that I can be in that like the other, like I can diversify this check and create an entire legacy of generational wealth for my entire family if I just start becoming the writer, or I talk to writers and I get these books and I get these undiscovered artists and these undiscovered authors and make their books come to life with my production company. I'll produce them. Yes, and then she comes out with Big Little Lies, and she's like, I'm going to cast Meryl Streep and like every amazing Nicole Kidman, great actors, and it's going to be a miniseries. Okay, maybe I'll look at this book and I'll talk to Kerry Washington and I'll do Little Fires Everywhere. And I'm like, Reese Witherspoon, holy moly, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing? And so I say that to say that like you've cracked the code earlier than Reese Witherspoon, that you are like, oh, in order to stay in this relative industry, I too am not just the employee. I can be the hyphenate. I can be the actual producer and the director. And people will hire Reese Witherspoon, yourself, whatever, to direct, to produce their thing, to be in it, star in it. You've broken the glass ceiling of what it is that they're doing at what looks like the end of their career, but it's like they're like, oh, we're just getting started. So I love that. Yeah. That's what I have to say about that, because that is what like Olivia Wilde, Don't Worry Darling, like they were like, I've been the sexy bombshell for a while. Why don't I start directing? Why don't I start producing? Why don't I start writing with a writing partner? And you're like, oh my God, that's how you get the stickiness of this industry.
I want to say one thing to any creators who are out there, especially the actors. This is not just a podcast for actors. It's just for everybody.
Correct.
a lot of people think that a certain individual has the power or the authority to choose who gets to be in a film. And a lot of times actors see like a casting director or the agents or managers and they are influential and they do hold a certain amount of gravitas within making a film or making anything in this industry. But it's not just them. Really, in my experience of also being a producer, it's really the producers and the director who are in conversation. And of course, every production is different.
Sure.
Every show is different. Every movie is different. But the people who are going to see you and put you in their into the roles are not always who you think it is. And so really understanding what the landscape is for a creative coming out and being like, this is who I am, this is what I do, I can do X, Y, and Z, consider me for the part.
Correct.
It may or may not get past those first people.
Sure.
You know, it may not get past the agent, manager, casting director, or casting associate. Sometimes, you know, I mean, I have to be very careful what I say because I know that there are going to be, you know, people who are like, oh my God, I'm going to go to the producer's house and like,
Sure.
you know, stalk them. But
Sure.
like at the same time, understanding that one, you can make your own work. Two, you have way more power than you think you do in terms of your creative expression. But also thirdly, you know, you can reach out to the people who are making the things that you want to be a part of. And my last thing I have to say with that is we're just people.
Yeah.
And if you come to people as people
Yeah.
and not kind of putting them on a pedestal,
Right.
the conversation can be so much better
Yeah.
than you think it can be. You know, I see so many individuals in life being so desperate for something to happen. And I know that the best case scenarios that I've been a part of that have come, you know, and shown the best amount of opportunity came from times in which I just treated people like people. And I let it either come or not come. Or sometimes something wouldn't work out, but I was just my normal self to somebody. But then 5 years, I get a call back being like, hey, we're doing this thing. Would you want to be a part of it? I remember from X, Y, and Z 5 years ago, like, I would love to have you come into the room and to audition for it. You know, so you never know when things can happen. And so don't be desperate. Know what?
We have one moment for a commercial break right now. I'm going to hold Cameron to hold his idea, and we're going to pause for a brief commercial intermission while I eat some crackers.
And break. I fucking love that. Do you want something to eat?
Later.
Sure?
Later. It's
Okay.
fine. Let's do this. We got it. We're here. We're doing it.
We're almost-
And now we're back. We're back. I had something to eat already now. Great.
Honestly, I love this setup.
Come on.
I and my girlfriend made this frame for the TV.
Stunning.
I got this TV from a neighbor. Thank you, Aaron.
I walked in and I was like, oh, this is cute. Then I looked at the TV and I was like,
Yeah.
oxygen left my body.
So I'm glad I got this TV. Also, there's so much stuff you can get for free. Can I just say that real quick?
To plug.
Here in LA, if you just walk some of the streets, people throw out all sorts of stuff.
Bruh.
I can't tell you how many things I've gotten for free. I've gotten this chair for free.
Come on.
I've gotten that chair for free.
Hey.
Got the TV for free.
Ooh.
I got that for free. I got
the
like
tchotchkes.
that desk for free.
Oh.
Some of these plants for free. That lamp for free. I got a lot of stuff for free.
Come on.
And just because people were moving out or people were moving to a new apartment and they needed to downsize or they just didn't want it anymore.
They upgraded their own stuff. They're like, I don't know what to do with all this.
Yeah,
exactly.
Exactly. And so here this table.
Walk
we got
the streets of LA. There's so many.
I know. Everything's. Anyway, it's a wild place out here. It's a funny place out here.
LA is unlike any city in this entire world.
I would say like New York has it's not a similar vibe, but it has just as much going on, but it's a different animal.
New York is not. LA is like, this is the industry. New York, yes, they have Broadway and they have acting and they have dancing and stuff, but there's so many thriving industries in New York.
Yes.
Food service, healthcare, tech, hospitality, any wellness.
I would say that here too.
Yes, but I think when people think of LA,
Hollywood,
we think of Hollywood. They think of, people don't know, like, of course, the other place, but things aren't even really filmed in Hollywood. There's some everywhere else. No. Shot here.
No.
But it's like when people think of LA County, it's really like, oh, that's the vibration of entertainment is here.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like New York, you've got so many different things. It's like, I feel like when you come to LA, people are like, oh my God, you're in LA, so you must work in the movie industry. When you go to New York, you could be like, just like, I own a bar. Or like, oh, I'm an instructor, or I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer, or I work in Wall Street, or like, there's so many other industries in New York, like little specks, where LA is like,
there's a lot of entertainment.
You must do something in entertainment, right? Where are you here if you're not entertainment?
A lot of entertainment. Also, LA is an interesting place because you see the full scope of wealth.
Correct.
On one block.
Ooh. Now you're talking.
Right next to each other.
Now you're talking.
It's like yin and yang in terms of like wealth and opportunity. You literally have someone pulling up in a Ferrari, getting out in like full designer clothes, like their outfit's $10K, their car is like $250,000, and that's like one of 7 cars they have. Going in to get, whatever smoothie that costs $20. And they walk out and there's like a homeless person in a tent.
Correct.
Like right next to them. It's like literally that scope. Yeah. And it's just seen as normal, which I think is wild, and that there's whole other reasons and whole other problems that need to be addressed in this city. But it's wild out here.
It's cuckoo town.
It's cuckoo town.
It's cuckoo town.
In the best way possible.
Yes.
I do wish it was less expensive though. But
we're gonna get our Los Angeles mayor on this podcast.
Yes. We're also gonna get Drew Barrymore.
Yes. Drew Barrymore, Celine Dion, the mayor of Los Angeles.
Yes.
Elon Musk.
Right here. In this room.
apartment.
Yes.
Next to your fireplace.
Absolutely. Yes.
But the funny thing is that like in LA, it could happen. we're being delusional.
It could happen,
but it could happen.
And that's why.
That's the title. That's the title of the podcast. It could happen.
Anyway, is there anything else you would like to say to the beautiful people?
To the beautiful people listening and watching, you're beautiful people. And this is the podcast that is currently untitled. It could be named by the time that this is published.
This is the Cameron A.B. show.
Oh, boom. Cameron A.B. show. Man, guys, whoever you are, actor, writer, painter, artist, whoever you are, however you found the podcast, moving to LA, moving out of LA, you feel like you are a person that you feel like you have something. You have something that you're currently not activating. You're not doing it. You feel like you're not getting paid to do the thing that you love to do, the thing that you really want to do. So my piece of advice would just be like, and again, it goes back to the simplest things. It's just start. Just start wherever it is. wherever you're at with your resource, with your computer, with the things that you have, your resources, just start making it and make it as shitty as possible, and then make the next one like less shittier. And then you look at that, you watch playback, and you're like, that was so shit. But tomorrow we're gonna we'll make it less shittier. And that's how you just create a community. That's how you create the momentum that you need for this community, for your life. That's how you create a career for yourself. That's how you create, like you did for yourself, actual physical product, a tangible thing to say, like, here's what I do. Yeah. So that it's just to start with whatever you have, just start, and you'd be surprised.
You would be really surprised
because it could happen. Back to you, Cameron.
First of all, awesome. Yeah, it's so interesting. You touched on something that I wanted to talk about, and I completely forgot because I was so entranced by your performance.
Entranced?
Yes. First of all, I love the energy that you have.
Whoa.
Always.
It's always
always.
It's never not like this.
You know, and like you're not like performing.
No.
This is who you are. Let me
tell you something.
Tell me
Let me tell you something into the microphone.
Tell me.
I've tried to turn this off. I've spent too much money in therapy. I've talked to my parents. I've tried to turn this off.
I tried.
I've been to many pastors. I've tried to turn this energy off. And there it goes. It's not going nowhere. And it's boundless energy. I've tried to find I'm trying to find where it starts and where it ends. No. That is all.
I think the last thing I really want to talk about is wherever you are, whatever you're doing, just doing it for you. Make sure it's what you really want to do.
Get specific.
So for me, what I really want is I would love to have my own production company.
Okay, boom, manifest. Episode 1, let's go.
I would love to have my own production company and be responsible for buying and selling IP, working with brands, working with writers, directors, producers in order to make really good stories.
Yeah.
Also, I do love to act. I do love to be in front of the camera. But I also do like writing now. I also do like producing. And to be able to keep doing that, I find that for me, it's not so much of, I need to make X amount of $1 million and be doing this thing, which is great. I'm not going to say I won't do it.
Correct. We'll take the check.
We'll take the fucking check, and I will be on set for 16 hours every day.
And that's the thing that's different, is you're not going to take the check and be like, oh, finally, $1 million. I can finally go to Bali. You're going to take the check and be like, how can I produce the most out of this and make this $1 million stretch?
Yeah, but also, as long as I can still keep a roof over my head,
right,
put food on the table, have amazing relationships with my friends and family, and to be able to wake up every day and happy for what I'm doing, fuck, like that's everything.
Yeah.
You know, like who cares if I'm driving a Lambo?
No one.
Or if I'm in like the biggest, 5-bedroom mansion in Malibu or something like that. Like, they're all nice.
Yeah.
They're really, really nice. And I've been in some of those houses and some of those people I've met. And, sometimes it's not what you really want. And a lot of people, I find, they think that that's the end goal and like that's it, and it's like full stop. Once I get that, it will be great. But even if you get that, you're gonna be like, what if a little more?
Right.
And so the goalposts keep on moving.
Sure is.
But if you have this feeling of contentment, if you have this feeling of enough, and I feel like for me in my place in life right now. Something that has really differentiated me from other people is I know what enough looks like.
Ooh, say that again.
I know what enough looks like, and I know what enough feels like.
Yeah.
And of course, it's something I have to work on every single day, but being able to just wake up and be doing what I love to do and be able to do it on my own terms, like that's enough. That's more than enough.
Yeah.
You know? And I'm thankful and grateful that you're here.
Hey.
And that you were able to be a part of this. We're currently writing something.
This is the truth.
And it's one of those things where once you learn what that is, what that spark is, just keep doing it and keep making plays even though no one else is watching. I think I got that from Deion Sanders, actually. He said something like keep making plays or something like that. So shout out to him. But more importantly, just know what enough is.
Ooh.
Know what enough is and know what that real happiness is in your life.
Yeah.
And do that. Like, if it's fun for you, do it. But if whatever that thing is that you think is like the end goal, like reevaluate. Just take a step back and just reevaluate and see what is it that's really you want.
Yeah.
Because it may not always be what everyone else thinks success is.
Right.
So those are the kind of something that I've been working with and ruminating over, and onward and upward. So
onward and upward. All right. Sign us out, Cam.
Thank you everyone for tuning in. I know this is going to be everywhere on social media, and whatever that's going to be, but thank you all for tuning in. Enjoy yourselves. Have a great day, and I will see you on the next episode. Goodbye. And cut.
And we're done. More Moore, and then at headshotsbyjmo.com. That's a lie. It's just headshots by JMO.
Do you want to try that again?
One more time.
See, I fucking love doing this because we can just like cut it out.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Just have fun. Done. Jonathan, so great talking to you.
Oh my gosh.
Where can people find you?
Yes, you can find me on Instagram on 2 accounts. One is my on-camera account, and the other one is my photography account. The first one is Jonathan Moore. Second account is headshotsbyjmo.com.
Wonderful. And you can find me on Instagram, Cam_A_B. On TikTok, it's Cameron AB. And if you search Cameron AB Show, you'll find all sorts of stuff on YouTube and all the other socials. And my website is CameronAB.com. So thanks so much for tuning in, and till next time.
Till next time.
Thanks, Jonathan.
Thank you so much, Cam.